I have some amazing alternatives to niche luxury perfumes. So let's jump into it. I'm going to show you some alternatives. Some of them may be dupes, some of them are just similar to the original, some of them are straight up made to smell like the other perfume, some are not, so take it with a grain of salt. And also it's not going to be a video where I'm going to show you things that are 95% the same or 99 or 89. It's just the vibe that I get that is very similar, and that to me is enough to be an alternative. So the first one is one of my husband's favorites in his collection, and also one of my favorites on him, which is called Imagination by Louis Vuitton. And I do think it is a unisex perfume because it doesn't have this typically masculine side in particular. But then again, I'm just not reaching for it. Maybe I associate my husband so much with it that I'm not wearing it. I'm not too sure. But I am wearing the alternative. But let's get into this one. So this is one of the highest rated perfumes in the niche or luxury designer category. And this is a fresh, citrusy, very aquatic, synthetic type of scent. It has notes of Chinese black tea. It has bergamot in here, ambrox, ginger, cinnamon, cedar, and neroli. And there is something in here that is so intoxicating and sexy to me. I think it is the ambrox, because ambrox does have this fascination to me, but if it's mixed with other notes I do not like. It's just too much for me, like the Dior Sauvage. You smell it all day, everywhere, and the ambrox or ambroxan is so loud in there that I cannot stand it. But in here it's just intoxicating. This is a strong, fresh, citrusy perfume. And you do know that those types of scents tend to not have a good performance at all. And I think it is because this is quite synthetic. So you have to like more synthetic, aquatic type of scents. But if you like them, this is so good. And it's quite hard to get. So I was so head over heels when I saw that there is an alternative to it, which is from Zara. And this is the Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes perfume, which has been out for quite a while. Zara tends to have their perfumes out for like 1 week and then they're gone. And this one has been out for at least half a year or something, or even more, or since last year, I'm not too sure. But for Zara, quite a while. And they had big bottles only, and now they have the 30 milliliter bottles, which is very nice of them. And at first, I did not see the similarities on my skin, but if you smell it straight from the bottle or on the strip, or if you let it dry down on your skin, it gets so similar. It is not a beast whatsoever, so the performance is definitely lacking in here, but it is a Zara perfume, and I think, I'm not too sure how much I paid, maybe like 15 euros. So quite a stark difference in here. This has orange, bergamot, amber, blackcurrant, ginger, orange blossom. And I think there are quite a few other notes in there as well. But you do have the bergamot, which is in the Louis Vuitton one as well, and the ginger and the orange blossom, which is similar to neroli. So they share some similar notes, and this one is definitely supposed to be a dupe of the Louis Vuitton one. I like the bottle, I like the fragrance, and this one, because it isn't as loud and almost not as synthetic smelling, is a little bit more easy to wear for me. So I am wearing this one actually. And this one to me is quite an everyday scent. The other one is something I would typically wear spring and summer. But that one, because it isn't as loud as I said, it could be an everyday all year type of scent. But especially spring and beginning of fall. I think this will be perfect. The next one is for lovers of clean laundry types of scents. If you know scents like Blanche by Byredo, there's one from Zarco perfume called the Muse, and there are a lot of other perfumes out there that smell similar to it. You know that they have this clean laundry thing about them. They just smell very fresh, most of the time quite floral, but in the most clean, elegant way. And most of them are quite powdery or with soft creaminess to them. And when I sniffed this perfume, I immediately thought of Blanche by Byredo. I had a travel size of that one, but it's gone already because I had a strong clean laundry phase where I only wore things like that. So Blanche has notes of aldehydes, rose, peony, musk, sandalwood. And when I received Lefko by Korres, I immediately thought of Blanche by Byredo. And they do share some of the same notes. So this one has lily of the valley, it has peony and rose as well. It has sandalwood, musk and powder. So I think even on paper they sound very similar, and they are. And this one is so inexpensive and it is quite strong. Blanche on me is also not a weak perfume, but this one isn't weak as well. On my skin at least, I would say they have the same performance and lasting power. They are not beast modes by any means, but you can smell them for quite a few hours. This house in general is so underrated. I love them because they have, I think, such a beautiful, innovative packaging. I love it. It's so clean and minimal, but still special. I love that they have the notes on here. And also they always have a poem in the back that fits the perfume. It's so, so nice, so beautiful. I love it. I love Korres in general. All of the body care and everything, give it to me. But yeah, this one is, I'm going to spray it. It's so clean and fresh smelling. And you definitely have to like florals like Lily of the Valley. It's quite a strong Lily of the Valley type of scent. And you have this powderiness, but not too much. And I could swear that this had some kind of aldehydes in here as well. But I don't know, it doesn't say it in the notes. But it's so similar and this is so inexpensive in comparison to Byredo. The next alternative I'm going to present to you is an alternative to MFK's Gentle Fluidity Gold. Also Intense Cafe by Montal, which I have a travel size or like a decant here as well. It's like a mix of both of those perfumes. Montal isn't the most expensive brand, but still it's a niche perfume house and it is quite expensive. And also, of course, MFK is a luxury niche perfume house. These two perfumes are sweet and spicy and quite creamy. They are definitely gourmand scents and they have this quite woody, deep aspect to them that almost reminds me of a Middle East perfume. So in here you have juniper berry, musk, coriander, nutmeg, woods and vanilla. And in Intense Cafe you definitely have the coffee note, you have some rose, and I think there's some vanilla in there as well. And both of them give me this very deep and thick feeling. They are not something I would wear as an everyday perfume, not at all. There is something for fall or even winter time to me because they are quite strong. And you can see I've worn this perfume quite a few times and it looks full because you just only need maybe 1 to 2 sprays and you're good. It lasts the whole day. On me, both of them are beast mode, especially MFK, I think, and actually also Montal. They are quite beast mode perfume houses to me on my skin. They have such a long lasting power, and also the sillage is quite big. But surprisingly, we have an alternative that is quite strong as well and so much more cheap. Maybe you've heard of it already, but I'm going to tell you as well because it is just such a good alternative. So this is Rose Gourmand by Zara as well. And this one has been out for quite a while, and I think it's going to stay because it is such a bestseller because people love the DNA. So this one, I don't know, I really cannot detect a lot of differences to the ones I just talked about. So this has rose, caramel, carnation, jasmine, peony, vanilla, and amber. But this to me is also quite spicy at the same time. You definitely have a strong vanilla and a strong amber. There is a rose note as well in here, which reminds me a little bit more of Intense Cafe than Gentle Fluidity Gold. But if they dry down, I think all of them smell quite similar to each other. And this is quite creamy. It is very beautiful. I wouldn't say this is a beast mode perfume, but for Zara, this is actually a beast mode perfume. This lasts the whole day on me. I can get away with maybe 4 to 5 sprays of this one, but sometimes that's even better because sometimes the other ones are too strong for me and I can get a headache. So that one is just a tad bit more subdued. I only have a travel spray of that because I do have the full size of Gentle Fluidity Gold and I do not need all of those perfumes in big sizes, but it's a beautiful, very, very nice alternative. During lockdown, I think my husband discovered the perfume house of Frederic Malle, and we researched so many of the perfumes and got to sniff some of them, and he immediately fell in love with Musc Ravageur. And I thought, oh my god, what is up with him, because it was just so much for me. And then I had a sample of it, and then a few months later I smelled it again and I was like, I'm intrigued. And I tested it on my skin time and time again. And I loved it every time a little bit more until I thought about buying it. And then I stumbled across a perfume house from Italy, which I now adore. And it is called L'Herbolario. And they have a perfume which smells on my skin so similar without being as edgy as Musc Ravageur. And the perfume is called Méharées. So in Musc Ravageur, you have cinnamon, lavender, orange, bergamot, musk, a lot of musk, of course, vanilla, amber, patchouli, and sandalwood. And the main accords are spicy, sweet, animal, oriental, woody. And the L'Herbolario one has main accords of spicy, oriental, sweet, woody, gourmand. And the notes are cinnamon, orange, bergamot, rose, the heart is gaiac wood, patchouli, cedarwood, sandalwood, and the base notes are vanilla, amber, and musk. So they share a lot of the exact notes, and it's so good. Oh my god. I just think sometimes with those dupes to niche perfumes, they take the best of the best accords and notes and they leave out the ones that are maybe a little bit too edgy and sharp, and that's the perfume. And I'm going to show you one that is very similar when it comes to that mindset, but for me a lot of times they are more wearable and I can integrate them into my everyday life, and I can wear them without thinking about, okay, today I'm going to wear this very niche perfume. Is it going to be okay for the whole day? Especially when I'm in the car all day or in the train or flying or whatever, I cannot escape the scent, and then I have to think about those types of perfumes a lot. But enough of that side story. That one is just the more wearable version of Musc Ravageur to me. It is spicy and oriental smelling. It has this intriguing, very sexy deepness about it, but also it is quite clean and fresh at the same time. And I love those contrasts if they do it the right way, and they did it the right way. It's so creamy. The vanilla and the amber and the musk are so loud in here, and the mix of all of those notes is just so beautiful. And then the cinnamon spice makes it just a little bit more special, and you definitely get the woods and also a little bit of the patchouli, but just as the backbone of the perfume. And it's the patchouli I love, that is intriguing, that is sexy, and that just makes the perfume last, because this is a strong perfume on me. On some people, they don't get the lasting power I get, but on my skin, it lasts the whole day. But I do have to say, Musc Ravageur doesn't last longer than this one on my skin. To me, this is such a beautiful alternative to Musc Ravageur. So as I just told you, I have another duo where I think the niche perfume version is very niche smelling, and the alternative just took everything beautiful from the other one and didn't integrate the notes and accords that can be a little bit challenging. So I'm speaking about Dama Bianca by Xerjoff. This is from the Casa Morati line. And I was thinking about getting this perfume for such a long time, because to me, it is very niche smelling, typically niche smelling. It has this intriguing, very interesting aspect to it, but then also some notes that on me have this challenging part to it, where I do not want to wear it every single day. I have to be in the mood. I have to be like, okay, today I feel Dama Bianca, if you know what I mean. So the main accords in here are sweet floral, powdery, creamy, and gourmand. And this has the notes of kumquat, iris, lime, jasmine, violet, lily of the valley, white musk, vanilla, cedarwood, and sandalwood. I think this has a very prominent note of lily of the valley, and I think the combination of the lily of the valley with the kumquat is a duo that is quite challenging on my skin and to me, but I also love it because it smells so comforting and luxurious and elegant. To me, it's a beautiful wedding type of scent. If you want something not too summery, this is also perfect for a fall or winter type of wedding, because it has this coziness about it. It has quite a strong vanilla and musk note as well. And then I saw that Sol de Janeiro had this perfume called Cheirosa 40, which is called Black Amber, Plum, and Vanilla Woods. And I did buy it because I was reading that it is supposed to be a good dupe to Dama Bianca. I don't think it is supposed to be that, if you ask me, but of course, I'm not too sure. To me, it just seems like it has a similar type of feeling to it, but this one is exactly the same as the L'Herbolario one, where I feel like they took everything nice about Dama Bianca, and the notes, as I said, that are a little bit more challenging, they didn't take into consideration when producing that one. The notes in here are quite different. The main accords are sweet, fruity, gourmand, floral, and creamy. And the notes are blackcurrant liqueur, plum, orchid, jasmine, vanilla, woods, and musk. So the base is quite exact, to be honest. They dry down to something very similar. In the top, they are quite different, because in here you can definitely also smell the blackcurrant and the plum. In the beginning, yeah, it's definitely plummy. It has the sour blackcurrant thing about it, which is similar to the kumquat note in Dama Bianca. But to me, it works even a little bit better. I'm not too sure if you would love this one if you do not like the note of plums in perfume, which I think a lot of people are quite 50-50 about. But to me, it's a little bit more easy to wear. I love it. It's so cozy and creamy, and addictive smelling. It's something you can wear throughout the year, I would say, because it has the fruity aspect to it, but also you have this very cozy, quite deep, woody, musky vanilla base to it. The only thing is that this has a poor longevity. I mean, it is a hair and body fragrance mist, but just saying, the Dama Bianca on me has a very strong lasting power. This one has not, but as you can see, I just overspray in them. It's okay for me. And the last duo is the reason why I thought about this video idea, because when I smelled the alternative, I thought, oh my god, it reminds me so much of this perfume I have in my collection, which I don't think you can get anymore. They do not have it in our stores, at least. So the perfume in mind was Jo Malone Blue Agava and Cacao, which I've had for quite a while, and you can see it in the juice. So I'm not too sure if I would wear it now. I think it's still good. Let's see. Yeah, thankfully it's still good. This is so beautiful, and the main accords are gourmand, spicy, sweet, powdery, and floral, with top notes of lime, grapefruit, agave, and then the base notes are cocoa, cinnamon, musk, sea salt, and vetiver. I love the notes, and you can definitely smell all of the notes. You have this very juicy, sour, fresh lime note that you can, I think, smell from beginning to the dry down. Then you have this very beautiful cocoa note, which gives it this powdery, more elegant aspect to the fragrance. And then it is quite musky. You have this spiciness to it from the vetiver, from the cinnamon, but it's still very fresh and airy and not like a deep fall and winter scent. I got this at the same time as mimosa and cardamom, and I would say 99% of the time wore them together, which is a beautiful mix if you want to try it. But still, this is so beautiful on its own. The only thing is that the lasting power, as usual with those Jo Malone scents, is very, very weak. And the alternative to this one is Eilish by Billie Eilish, which to me is a beautiful alternative with a better performance. And a lot of people say it doesn't have a good performance, but in comparison to the other one, it does. So this has main accords of gourmand, sweet, creamy, powdery, and fruity, with notes of candied blossoms, orange, berries, vanilla, cocoa, spices, tonka bean, musk, and woods. And I think you can get the idea of why I think they are quite similar. This doesn't have a lime note to it, but it does have this orangey, citrusy freshness, which also doesn't make it like a very deep and heavy cocoa vanilla perfume. It has this lightness and airiness to it, and definitely a lot of spiciness. The vanilla and the cocoa are notes that are quite loud, which definitely makes the perfume gourmand smelling, but because of the freshness from the orange and the candied blossoms, it is definitely more subdued and not as heavy and thick as other gourmand scents. And also the base of the musk and the woods is so intoxicating. The musk almost has this like sugared musk aspect that I get from Maud Vanilla by Ariana Grande or the Silk Santal by Kayali. This similar vibe to it. The performance on me is quite good, I would say. Not the best, not the weakest. It's definitely stronger than the Jo Malone one. But if you want something even more strong, try La Tafas Nebras. I have a sample of that one, and those two smell very much alike, but the other one is more powerful. So these were all of my suggestions for beautiful alternatives to more luxurious, expensive perfumes. Let me know if you like the video format. Do you want me to do part 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Also, let me know if you've tried any of those perfumes. What do you think of them? What do you think of the dupes? Do you have other dupes you want me to try? Maybe also some dupes that you do not hear every single day about, because I want to bring you something new as well. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!